In the grand chessboard of power, tech giants and news outlets are locked in an intricate dance of control. The dance is a complex one, where the moves are strategic and the stakes are sky-high. The tech giants, with their far-reaching platforms and global user base, hold a significant advantage. They are the gatekeepers of information, dictating what news gets seen, when, and by whom. On the other side of the board, we have the news outlets. Despite producing the content that fuels these platforms, they often find themselves at the mercy of the tech giants' algorithms and policies. The power dynamic is skewed, and the news outlets are calling for a change. Enter the Online News Act. This legislation is a game-changer, aiming to level the playing field by making dominant platforms pay news businesses for their content. It's a bold move, designed to redress the balance and ensure that those who create the news are adequately compensated for their work. And then the Online News Act entered the stage, throwing a curveball in this power play. The Online News Act, a game-changer, was introduced, targeting the two tech behemoths, Google and Meta. A pivotal legislation, its primary objective is to ensure that dominant platforms fairly compensate news businesses for their content. The act is a powerful statement in a world where news is increasingly consumed online, and it seeks to address the imbalance of power between news outlets and the tech giants who benefit from their content. The act, however, is not universal in scope. It specifically applies to Google and Meta. This targeted application of the law underscores the significant influence these two entities wield in the digital landscape, further highlighting the power dynamics at play. The act is not just about compensation, it's a call for a more equitable digital ecosystem where the creators of content are not left in the cold, while the platforms that host the content reap the benefits. The introduction of the act sent ripples across the tech and news industries, prompting swift reactions from Google and Meta. Meta decided to play hardball, choosing to no longer allow Canadian news articles on Facebook and Instagram. In a world where information is power, Meta's decision has sent shockwaves across the digital landscape. This move, a direct response to the Online News Act, has only heightened the tension between tech giants and news outlets. Meta's stance has been perceived as an attempt to maintain control over its platforms, a bold move that has raised eyebrows and ignited discussions about the balance of power in the digital age. It's a clear indication of the lengths these tech giants are willing to go to protect their interests. This is not just a spat over news content, it's a power play in a world where digital dominance is a high-stakes game. While Meta took a stand, Google's initial reaction was a threat to block Canadian news from its site. However, Google, after months of negotiations, decided on a different path. In a dramatic change of course, Google chose to not follow in Meta's footsteps. Instead, the tech giant navigated a path forward, reaching an agreement with Canadian news operations. The deal? A cool $100 million annually for the right to share their links on its platform. Now, this wasn't a hasty decision. It came after intense negotiations and a looming threat to block Canadian news from its site. But Google, in its wisdom, chose to adapt and evolve, rather than resist and retaliate. The specifics of the deal are as interesting as the deal itself. It's not a free-for-all. The deal includes Google negotiating with a single group that represents the entire Canadian media ecosystem. A smart move indeed to streamline the process and ensure that the negotiation is with a unified voice, rather than a cacophony of individual entities. But how will the $100 million be distributed? It's not an equal slice of the pie for all. The funds will be allocated to outlets based on the number of full-time journalists. This is a strategic decision, aimed at supporting outlets that invest in full-time journalism and thereby indirectly promoting the profession. With the Online News Act set to go into effect next month, Google's decision marks a significant shift in the power dynamics and sets a precedent for future interactions between tech giants and news outlets.